It does not make sense for us to be having all of this church and hearing all of these messages, and as soon as we get an opportunity to use our faith, we're running. It makes no sense to talk all of this faith and then run from trouble. In our lives, we have trouble, trials, we have issues, heartaches, all kinds of different situations. And somebody asked me, if we're in the will of God and we're doing what God wants us to do, why do we go through so much trouble? Why do we have to deal with so much pain? Why do so many people do us wrong? And if you look at that question from a natural standpoint, it makes no sense. But if you look at that question through God's system, then you understand that God does everything by faith. Everything that God does for us is done by faith. If God is going to heal you, you're going to be healed by faith. If God is going to bless you, you're going to be blessed by faith. If God is going to deliver you, you will be delivered by faith. Without faith, you're not getting healed. Without faith, you're not getting delivered. Without faith, you're not being saved. Without faith, you're not pleasing God. The opposite of faith is sin. God is not going to operate in sin. So when you say, I'm asking God to do this, I'm asking God to move for me over here, then God has to move for you through faith. So in order for you to exemplify your faith, you are going to get trouble. In order for you to show your faith, you are going to get trials. You have to show faith to get what you say you want. In order for you to show faith, you're about to get a mountain. One of the biggest blessings you will ever get in your life is trouble. One of the biggest blessings you will ever get in your life is a mountain. We cry and complain about trials. We cry and complain about people doing us wrong. We cry and complain when a mountain is in our way. Well, that mountain is your blessing. Those people doing you wrong, that's your blessing. When you see that mountain, that means you're about to do what? Speak to the mountain is going to be moved, and you're going to get to what you done asked God for. When those people do you wrong, you're about to still operate God's system. Those people are going to get out of your way, and you're about to get what you asked God for. When you see all of this trouble, you're going to show your faith by activating God's system. That trouble is going to come to an end, and you're about to get what you asked God for. That's why there are many afflictions for the righteous. That's why we go through so much. Not so you can tuck tail and run. Not so you can cry and complain, not so you can doubt and give up, but so you can get what you're desiring, so you can get what you're asking for by faith. But when you don't understand that, you spend most of your time trying to get away from that opportunity to exemplify your faith. People who don't understand this, when I didn't understand this, I spent most of my time trying to get away from the trouble. I spent most of my time trying to dodge people who were presenting me with an opportunity to use my faith. People spend most of their time trying to run away from using their faith. A perfect opportunity to apply faith, a perfect opportunity to speak to the mountain, a perfect opportunity to come into more and more blessings by using your faith, and you sitting up here running. I can't tell you how many times I did the same thing. Sitting up here wide open, running away from my blessing. Sitting up here trying my best to dodge the very thing that came to bless me. I'm spending all of that time, wasting all of that energy, and putting forth all of this effort to dodge these people. Wasting all of my energy and putting forth all of this effort to get away from these situations. Running, hiding, and dodging every opportunity that comes for me to use my faith. And then, after running from faith, after dodging your blessing, you got the nerve to wonder why you're not being blessed. God sent the mountain for you to speak to and be blessed. You run away from the mountain, or you try to climb the mountain. You do everything but speak to the mountain, and you wonder where your blessing is. You going through with people. And if you go through the right way and deal with this situation the right way, you're going to get your blessing. But you run and dodge these people, and you wonder, where is your blessing? You cry and complain about every issue, every situation, and every circumstance that is supposed to be blessing you, and you're wondering where your blessing is. And that's why when you look at so many people, and if this is still you, when you look at your own life, every person that God placed in your life is the very person that you try your best to stay away from. That job that God intended for you to work is the job that you get mad and leave and miss your own blessing. That church that you should be attending is the one that you leave and go to a different one because it's too challenging for you to be where God wants you to be in order to bless your life. Those situations that you've been dealing with for so long that you keep crying and complaining about are the situations that's in your life to bless you. Every time God wants you to go left, you go right. Every time God wants you to go right, you go left. Every time God wants you to move, you want to be still. Every time God tells you to be still, that's when you want to move. Because going through trouble and applying your faith is very challenging. And you're not up for the challenge. The same thing goes for just about everybody you see. The same thing goes for just about all the church folks you know. They are not up for the faith challenge. So once again, my advice to you is to stop running from faith.